What Donald Trump says here is very disturbing on a couple fronts. So, first off, what Donald Trump has done to women with the lack of women's healthcare and reproductive rights has caused many women to die already as a result of Trump's abortion bans in multiple red states where abortion is now pretty much banned. And also, Donald Trump talks like a dictator, like a cult leader, like he's Hitler, like he is every, manipulative person you can ever think of that led many people in a cult. And here he tells women that he is their protector. And this is the entire dynamic Donald Trump wants. He talks about anger and fear to disengage critical thinking, makes everyone extremely fearful of the world. And then he says he is the only person that can protect you, which is another strategy cult leaders use. The entire world is in flames. I am your savior. I am the one who protects you. They are talking about Donald Trump like he's actually the second coming of Jesus, like he's the Messiah, and it's very weird. And I'm going to react to exactly what Trump said at his rally. But yeah, this is getting even more weird, which is definitely saying something.
All right, so we have to talk business. I always thought women liked me. I never thought I had a problem. But the fake news keeps saying women don't like me. I don't believe it. I think.
To be exact, white women are still voting for Trump in a very slight majority. So it's around 50-50, but the latest polls have consistently had Kamala getting around 47% of white women and Trump getting 50% of white women. Any woman in any other demographic category is very against Trump, though.
You know why they like to have strong borders? They like to have safety. Nothing personal. I think they like me. But I make this statement. Thank you. I love you too. I love you too. Thank you. But I think they like me because I represent something that's very important. I make this statement to the great women of our country.
Okay, so watch and pay attention to what I said before about white women. White people make up a huge part of our population, a huge portion. So you'd rather get a small fraction percent more of white voters than you would, for example, black voters, especially black women. It's just a numbers game at that point. So Donald Trump's strategy here and JD Vance's strategy is to get the white voters out by scaring them. So Donald Trump most likely is going to repeat what he said about suburbs. So essentially, all of these black and brown people are going to come in your suburbs and make you less safe. They're going to build public housing next to your suburbs. I'm not going to let that happen. Me, Donald Trump, I am going to protect you from these vile invaders, these rapists and criminals. Of course, none of that's actually true. Talking about immigrants in that manner is very dehumanizing. Calling them aliens is dehumanizing as well. And Donald Trump lies about crime stats all the time. But the goal is to scare people so they run to him to be their savior.
Sadly, women are poorer than they were 4 years ago, much poorer, are less healthy than they were 4 years ago, are less safe on the streets than they were 4 years ago, are paying much higher prices for groceries and everything else than they were 4 years ago, are more strong.
All of those things were not true. Crime has gone down. Women's health care has gotten worse in states, like I said, that have banned women's reproductive rights, and women's health care in general is getting worse because of Donald Trump's abortion ban and his Supreme Court. The overall purchasing power of the dollar with groceries has remained relatively stable. The big price increases we saw with inflation that outgrew wage growth in the past few years is with consumer goods.
Everything else than they were 4 years ago, are more stressed and depressed and unhappy than they were 4 years ago, and are less optimistic and confident in the future than they were 4 years ago. I believe that. I will fix all of that and fast, and at long last, this nation and national nightmare will end. It will end. We've got to end this national nightmare.
You can always see him manufacturing this sense of fear and panic and making sure that the only way, and if you ever dealt with a big manipulator in your life, if you've ever studied cult leaders or dictators, any type of person who wants to manipulate you, these are the stages they use. And it's really scary to hear him talking like this. And the fact that it's working so well is also very scary.
Because I am your protector. I want to be your protector. As president, I have to be your protector. I hope you don't make too much of it. I hope the fake news doesn't go, oh, he wants to be their protector. Well, I am. As president, I have to be your protector. I will make you safe at the border, on the sidewalks of your now violent cities, in the suburbs where you are under migrant criminal siege, and with our military protecting you from foreign enemies, of which we have many today because of the incompetent leadership that we have. You will
I did not watch this until now, but I nailed it. I knew exactly what stages he was going to go on, of course. And the protector line is very, 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 very weird and very scary. And I know Donald Trump has said many times, you can't even walk across the street. You can't even walk across the road anymore in a city or in a suburb without getting killed and raped. That's not true, man. That's not true. And it's also taking away from all the care and efforts that we have to actually protect women, to protect women's health care. And of course, Donald Trump is liable for sexual assault and has been very proud in talking about how he wants to have sex with his own daughter on multiple occasions. Donald Trump does not like women. He never has. This is a manipulation technique because he wants their vote. So he's going to scare all the white women into thinking that the world is coming for them so that he can be the one to be their knight in shining armor, to be their white savior.
no longer be abandoned, lonely, or scared. You will no longer...
And what's with J.D. Vance and Donald Trump? You have to imagine it's ideological. This talking about lonely women and single women and childless women all the time. This obsession with talking about how women need to be baby-producing factories. It's very... it needs to be somewhat ideological. I wonder how much is calculated. I don't think Donald Trump really cares about this, but I'm sure J.D. Vance and Laura Loomer and all the other MAGA conspiracy theorists and white nationalists and neo-Nazis are telling him that this is a main point he needs to focus on.
Be in danger. You're not going to be in danger any longer. You will no longer have anxiety from all of the problems our country has today. You will be protected, and I will be your protector. Women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free.
He just made all of these points without saying literally anything of substance. He said women need to be protected. Women are lonely. Women are anxious. Women are in danger. Women are going to die in suburbs and cities and from threats from abroad, and Donald Trump is the only person who can save them. He is convincing everyone that their lives and the world is much worse and much more dangerous than it actually is. A real sober perspective for the future is talking about where we are, where we need to go, and anyone who tells you they will fix all of your problems is lying to you. And it's very obvious, it's very manipulative. They are lying to you. No one can fix all of your problems. Someone who comes and says, here's where we are, here's the challenges we're facing, here are my approaches to fixing these problems and approaching these challenges. And it's going to be difficult, but we will get through this as Americans. We will come together. We will be able to get over these issues and overcome everything that's happening. That is how you address these problems in a real, rational, and serious manner. Donald Trump is only doing this to bait everyone into being angry and scared, and I do not like this brand of politics at all, because we aren't talking policy. We're only talking about violence and conspiracy, and this kind of language is what ends up leading to violence. It leads to more of a cult worship of Donald Trump. He is not made to answer for literally anything. The only policy Donald Trump has talked about is tariffs. The only actual policy Donald Trump has talked about is a policy that 99% of economists agree with, would be a terrible policy, and his economic plan would add like $5 trillion a year to the national debt. Everything Donald Trump has proposed policy-wise, which is one thing because he only has concepts of other policies, does not influence literally anything about the world. And that's what makes this even more scary, is because he's only giving rhetoric to this. He's only giving these conspiracy speeches. He's not giving any analysis of actual issues. But so many people adore him. They are wearing outfits of him. They have American flags with Donald Trump on the front. He is signing his name, desecrating American flags. It's against American flag code. Donald Trump doesn't care. He'll sign American flags, put his name on it, because he's above that. The way he desecrates soldiers and everything. The rhetoric that makes sense for Donald Trump supporters at this point is nothing to do with the economy or anything else. It's only to do with immigration. And it's white people who are receptive to this messaging. And you can add in religion as another variable that has many Hispanic voters voting for Donald Trump as well. I think around 40% of Hispanic voters. But yeah, overall, race is the biggest determinant, and religion is the biggest determinant, and levels of your ideology of religion, if you are evangelical, or the more fundamentalist your beliefs are in general, is the biggest predictor for if you're going to vote for Donald Trump. Economically speaking, we have poor individuals voting more Democrat, suburban individuals voting more conservative overall, and along with race, I would probably say race and education are the two biggest things. So the white class who is non-college educated is voting for Donald Trump by huge margins. The white class that is college educated is voting for Kamala. And any class in America that's college educated is voting for Kamala by wide margins, essentially. So yeah, race and education are the two big things at play in this election. That will end up deciding it, and it's largely cultural. The Democratic Party right now is being the pro-American party, the pro-patriot party, talking about the opportunity economy, talking about working across small businesses, big companies alike, working in different communities, coming together as a nation, passing infrastructure, which Biden's admin did. They are giving an honest attempt to solve these problems for the future. Donald Trump is giving us these demagogue speeches that makes him sound like, of course, the next wannabe dictator, which is what he is. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to submit any videos for me to react to or any topics, feel free to email me or message me in Discord. But yeah, also become a Patreon, please. Patreon, yes, whatever that Patreon money, please, money.